wave your hand, wave your hand, wave your hand from the Caribbean. Wave your hand, wave your hand, wave your hand from your number one. From you ready for the competition. You not take intimidation.
Yeah, from St. Vincent to St. Lucia to Trinidad and Tobago, we're all waving our hands as we get ready to talk some cricket here on the SportsMax Zone. After a day without action, the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League returns with 4th place Trinbago Knight Riders hosting 3rd placed Barbados Royals at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. That's later on Friday. Now, a dominant performance and a resulting big win for either side, who are both on 10 points, could possibly see them not only joining the Guyana Amazon Warriors on 12, but also moving ahead of the defending champions into 2nd place on net run rate. Now, despite failing to register a win since confirming their playoff spot, Royals captain Rovman Powell insists wholesale changes will not solve his team's current struggles.
I think we are settled with our best 11. We know what we're going to go with in the playoffs, to be honest. You know, it's an opportunity for us to just fine-tune a few things.
Yeah, meanwhile, Knight Riders skipper Karen Pollard has commended his injury-plagued team for making it to the postseason.
You know, throughout the entire tournament, from the start of the tournament, we were hampered by injuries. Obviously, we had not mentioned, you know, what sort of injuries we have had throughout. And we have had to sort of chop and change. Obviously, that might have caused a lot of discussion amongst yourself and a lot of fans as to why this one and that one is not playing. But, you know, we had to battle that. But the way how the guys have, you know, come forward through injuries and coming in at late stages, obviously we have to commend them for their efforts. So to be in the position that we are in now, yes, we have fought, yes, we have qualified, still aiming for a top 2 finish. I just want to continue to commend the guys for the effort that they have put in throughout the tournament.
Yeah, Karen Pollard there. Well, I can't keep up really with Nikhil Uttamchandani and where he is across the Caribbean. I think he is in Guyana though, but let's catch up with him. Nikhil, how are you doing this afternoon? Where exactly are you? You are still in Guyana, right?
Yeah, still in Guyana, Ricardo. I wouldn't have left in less than 24 hours. I'm still here.
You never know. I have seen you leave in less than 24 hours before, and you were going a lot further than from Guyana to Trinidad and Tobago. But anyhow, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the cricket that's coming up tonight. The Trinbago Knight Riders, they are taking on the Barbados Royals. I want to start the conversation with the Royals, though. They have lost their last 3 matches. What are you expecting from them tonight in terms of a lineup?
I think, Ricardo, they still, if I'm not mistaken, they have to play the emerging player for one more game. Rivaldo Clark has played 4 games this season, so I think probably you still see the 5 overseas players. I would argue, though, given that Naveen Ulhat, who's been their 5th overseas option, hasn't really been at his best this year, is it worth getting either Naeem Young or Raheem Cornwall in the 11? Because Robman said it there, he's very set and settled on his best 11, which I believe features the 2 of those guys. So is it worth getting one of those guys in to have that match practice and match preparation before you get into a potential eliminator situation? Personally, I feel it might be worth, you know, if that's the way you decide. But again, they have the option of playing 5 overseas because Rivaldo Clark will play, or one of their emerging players will play tonight.
Yeah, and the Trinbago Knight Riders, as the captain Karen Pollard pointed out, they've had to be doing a lot of chopping and changing, and at last minute as well. What are you expecting from them tonight in terms of their final 11?
I think they're obviously going to be trying to play their strongest team, Ricardo. A few questions are on that side, and they have a great chance to still make the top 2. Have to win big because of the net run rate. But if they can win against the Royals, hope a result goes their way tomorrow morning, they could easily be turning up to Guyana here, win that, and finish even top of the table. So I think there are questions around their batting lineup. Casey Carty, the experiment with him at the top of the order hasn't really worked. Are they missing someone like a Carty at 4 after Pooran, who can bat the spin and set the game up for a Pollard and Tim David and Jordan, etc.? Maybe. And does that mean you get someone like a Shakir Paris back in? But to me, the biggest question tonight is what is the injury status of Sunil Narain and Andrew Russell? Because their bowling lineup, I think, is letting them down. They struggle to take wickets with the new ball. I think that's where Russell helps them. And then at the back end, they've gone at 10.5 runs and over, where Narain has bowled 1 or 2 overs almost every game. And it gives teams an opportunity to put pressure on that bowling attack. You saw it in the game against the Kings. Once Bravo went down, Pollard, and who bowled a superb 4-over spell. But it forces Pollard to have to go to some of his other options. So teams will be looking at that. I think for them, their biggest question is probably around those two major players.
Yeah, I've been a little bit surprised as to how different the surfaces have been in Trinidad and Tobago, Queen's Park Oval, in comparison to what we've gotten at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Matches at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, teams have looked to score over 200 or very close to 200. Are you expecting much of the same tonight?
Yeah, Kent Crafton, the head curator for this year's tournament, is here in Guyana. I had a chat with him, and he said, the preparation that they've been able to do at Brian Lara since the World Cup, he's very confident that you'll continue to see quite good surfaces there, so I expect another entertaining one. And even here in Guyana as well, I think since they've moved away from the surface that was used on the weekend, you saw the difference. I mean, it's not the easiest of surfaces. There's still spin there, which is what you want, a good balance and a good challenge. But as Guyana showed, you can still get 200 plus. So yeah, excited about the way the surfaces have gone and will go now in the next probably week of the tournament. But it is quite funny to see, at Queen's Park Oval where you have so much spin and turn, and then at the Lara where you have more mainly sixes and good entertainment.
Yeah, at the start of the season, we had a conversation about Nicholas Pooran, and specifically about something that he said about how he wanted to approach his innings going forward in terms of not just scoring quick runs, but scoring more impactful runs, having more impactful innings, not just setting the team up, but getting the team across the line all the way. What have you seen from him since then, or have you seen enough from him since then to suggest that he is backing up that talk?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Ricardo, because I think he has made it very clear that he wants to be there at the end of winning chases. You heard it, I think, in the Queen's Park Oval when he got those runs and was put down the 4 times by the Falcons. Patriots, correction. He said, the biggest thing for me is I want to be able to finish more matches and see it till the end. Probably hasn't done it as much as he would have liked, because you look at the volume of runs he scored this season. His 2 big scores have come against the Patriots. So against the other teams, he's not getting the consistency of runs. I do think there's a lot of pressure on him. There's a lot of expectation because of how well he's batted, but also because of the ability against spin in that middle order. I don't see a lot of other guys who I think they feel quite confident that can negotiate the spin, which is why I'm thinking maybe you get a Paris or you get a Carty in at 4 to lengthen and sort of deepen that batting lineup with all that power to come. They've gone Tim David and Pollard at 4, so I think that also puts pressure on Pooran, but definitely he'll want to continue to enhance that. And it's an important week for him now where he knows all the attention will be on him, and he's got to show up and sort of get those consistent runs and manage the way the Cock has done it for the Royals, where they're depending on him. He's got to sort of get in without taking much risk and still be at the aggressive, explosive Pooran that we know.
Yeah, very much the case. Well, Nikhil, guess what? It's getting close to that time of the season when we're going to be asking for your predictions. We're not asking for them today, so don't worry, but we're getting close, so I am putting you on notice. So when you return next week, you know that it will be prediction time. Nikhil Uttamchandani, as usual, it's been great speaking with you, and we'll chat again soon.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll be ready.
All right, there has been a change to the start time for the Knight Riders Royals clash this evening, with the match now set to bowl off an hour later. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time, 7 p.m. in Jamaica. But don't worry, you can still catch every ball live on your home of champions, SportsMax.
You not take intimidation. Woman or man, we have no one. This is how we play the game.